This podcast is brought to you by Social Economy Europe.
Welcome everybody to this new edition to Social Economy Talks. In this episode today, we are going to give an overview of the Strasbourg Conference, the Social Economy, the Future of Europe, that was held in Strasbourg the 4th and the 5th of May of 2022. The impact of this conference and all the effort from stakeholders and organizations will be seen in the month to come with the implementation of the Social Economy Action Plan through the concrete actions and proposals that were exposed during this event. I'm Laura Almirante, the Communication Coordinator at Social Economy Europe, and today I will be interviewing the delegation of Social Economy Europe that took part in the conference. Let's introduce our team members and analyze a bit what happened during those days, during the conference. And I'm glad to introduce them, starting with our director, Victor Meseguer, our Policy and Projects Assistant, Sara Bombardieri, our Policy and Administration Assistant, Clara Dreset, and our Social Economy Europe intern, Arthur Windsor. Hello to everybody.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
And also we have new additions to our team, Gayan and Rafael, that are with us today. Hello, Gayan, Rafael.
Hello, hello everyone.
Hello. Well, in this very first episode of the conference, in this video podcast, a special episode, we are glad to have with us also Sandra Guillmin. She is responsible for the social economy for the city of Strasbourg, and we can say one of the main players that make the whole Strasbourg Conference work, and she made it possible, we can say that. So welcome, Sandra, and congratulations to the whole team and to everyone that made the conference a success.
Hello.
Welcome to this episode of Social Economy Talks. So the Strasbourg Conference managed to gather social economy actors, but also high-level speakers and key policymakers. Which figures from the city of Strasbourg did you manage to involve, and what was the added value of having such important figures?
For us, it seems that the satisfaction comes from the fact that all the organizers were able to listen to the expectations of the actors and networks and to respond to them, while at the same time highlighting what they promote for their territory. So it was important that they were there. Strasbourg proposed to its partners to co-construct this event. This resulted in a rich and varied program of workshops. The construction of each workshop was a fine cooperation worked in several voices. This was also reflected in the setting up of thematic area. Each space was co-constructed with a national network and a European network, whether on transitions, youth, cooperation and innovation, territories, and public policies. This also allowed for a rich program to raise awareness of the new European programs and to allow project leaders and entrepreneurs to get information, to meet each other, and to listen to inspiring success stories. The institution took part in this co-construction by listening and making the human and financial resources available to support this organization of this event, and by inviting the European personalities to speak on subjects that are important for the future of the social economy in Europe. The European Commission, the European Economic and Social Committee, the European Committee of the Regions, the European Collectivity of Alsace, our region, and the region here, and the city and the Euro metropole too.
Thank you, Sandra, for explaining us an important event that it's been key, and that we will see the results of the conference in the months ahead and in the years ahead, because we have to implement the Social Economy Action Plan, and it's a huge and a joint effort that we have to do all together. You have had a lot of work in this conference, and we want to know, how was it? How was the cooperation of the program, the process, and how could you be able to respond to everybody's claims and interests and everything? Because I think the question is if the conference respond to the expectations that all of you had.
I think that we talked a lot of each other in our steering committees. We talked between very different person, very different institution, and that's why it was so varied and so interesting. And it's like that we could respond to the objective that we had, and those objective was defined together, all together. And it's also because we could talk in the different little meetings, and then try to make this co-construction that we love in Strasbourg, and that we could do because everybody can listen to each other, can explain what they wanted to do and what was there and their objective, and what we need to do all together with all this space who was very large in Strasbourg, and to have a lot of different activities.
Mm-hmm. And how was it possible to have so many high-level speakers and to gather social economy actors all together, so many important people that are working for the social economy in Europe? Was that like an added value to the conference to have all those stakeholders and policymakers there?
I think for me, each person was important. There was some important people, but I think that the man that I don't know and who wasn't, that I never see and that I never knew, was also important because he's got a lot of things to say, to explain. So it was important to have the commissioner, because it was important that he present the social economy action plan. But it was also very important that an actor, an entrepreneur could hear that and could then have an appropriation of those interesting things, and then to come with this subject in his country or her country, and then to use it, because what is important is what we could do concretely after that. So for me, everybody was important. It was important also for the sector that it was the French presidency of the European Union. And it was important because it was a highlight about our subject of social economy. So this was also one of a very important thing for us and for everybody, I think.
Right, and how is the feeling, or what is the feeling of the Strasbourg city having had this amazing and important and key and relevant event in the city?
For us, it was important because Strasbourg is a European capital. So it was important for us because of this communication. It was also important because we are very involved in social economy. We try to be innovative, and we try to respond to every need that we can feel. So we can do that for our territories because we are local, but it's very interesting to speak about that in a national level or in a European level, because every experiences are interesting for us. It is it is a need. It is because like eating something when you are hungry.
So you are ready to hold another one. Not soon, I guess, but another one. Next year, maybe. We will talk about it. Okay, Sandra, I know you are a bit in a rush today, and I don't want to take more time from you, but I thank you a lot for your intervention in this podcast. We will keep on having conversation about social economy in the future, for sure. So do you want to add anything about the conference, about the social economy historical moment that we are going through in Europe?
Yes, there is one thing that I wanted to say. I don't know if you know this adage that we use in France, that we say that the friends of my friends are also my friends. And I think it's really true in social economy, because at the beginning of this adventure, we need a few networks, and we associate them in our steering committees. And when we needed new skills, our friends, so like Social Economy Europe, our friends went and go there and got their friends who had those skills to help us. And I'm always amazed of the capacity of the social economy to mobilize for the common causes of the sector when leaders are usually overwhelmed, tired, hooked up in their project. And my main conclusion is that when it comes to promoting, positioning, and enhancing the social economy, we are effective when we all move in the same direction. It is very important for me to say that public and private actors, this is in line with the promotion of co-construction, because it seems to me to be a method that allows us to go beyond our differences and to reach a common goal. And it's therefore an effective method. That's what I wanted to say to conclude.
Yes, we agree. Cooperation is key. So we are all together in this. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra, for your words, for your highlights. And we hope we meet again soon. Maybe not in a big conference like this one, but sure for a conversation again in Social Economy Talks, because you are very welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We're going to keep the conversation after Sandra's intervention. And we're going to talk about the conference from Social Economy Europe point of view, because we were there, we were plenty involved, and we were co-creators also, because we had a really busy conference for us. So I will ask our director, Victor Meseguer, first, because I want to know a bit about the experience from his point of view. And the first question I would make to you, Victor, is if you can explain us how was this experience co-creating this huge event, because it was a huge event, and if it responded to expectations that Social Economy Europe has when we were first asked to be part of it.
Well, thank you very much, Laura, also for coordinating the podcast, for the initiative. First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy that we have had Sandra, because behind any collective effort, there is always people that work a lot and that put a lot of energy into that, an incredible amount of energy, and it is important to recognize it. That's why when we were saying about a new conference, I think that Sandra was she had nightmares about that.
I scared her.
yeah, you scared her a little bit, because it was an immense work, not only by Sandra, with many political leaders, with her city that put a lot of effort into it, the city of Strasbourg, the mayor of Strasbourg, the European Commission, French presidency, and so on. But at the end, there is a team that has to be passionate to do this crazy adventure. And Sandra is one of these great, crazy people that truly believes in the social economy. So it was very important to have her with us today. She's one of the champions. She's the main champion of this conference. If there is someone, it's like a football match or like a concert. If there is someone that should be thrown to the public and taken in the air, it will be Sandra. Okay, about the question, and I'll try to be brief because I speak a lot and that's not good. So about the question, we started organizing the conference more than 1 year ago. Actually, to say we are in June 2022, so more or less we started in May, June 2021. We had a first meeting in Brussels the day I got my second vaccine, by the way, or my first vaccine. We had a meeting with no, the first vaccine was in. I mean, I don't remember. Who cares? That's old. But in any case, I remember having a first meeting in May with Sandra and with Philip Roth, the deputy. The counselor in charge of social economy in Brussels. Then, together with Clara and with Nick, we went to Strasbourg. We did a road trip to Strasbourg for a meeting with the Bureau of the Social Economy Intergroup in July 2021. We had a meeting with the mayor of Strasbourg preparing this conference, with our president and with the co-chairs and vice chairs of the European Parliament Social Economy Intergroup. That was in July 2021. Also in July 2021, and Clara remembers it well because it was her first week, I think, more or less. We met with the French State Secretary for Social Economy at the time, Olivier Grégoire, who today is a spokesperson of the French government. This also gives an idea of how things evolve, right? How do we all collectively grow, hopefully? More than 1 year of collective effort to co-organize this conference under the leadership of the city of Strasbourg, that always believed in these projects, and that was able to gather the support of networks like us and of others. Then conferences are conferences. I mean, they enrich you a lot. They make you be very tired after 2-3 days, in our case, almost a full week of presence in there, and sleeping little and doing a lot, and eating little, except Arthur, who I think had a nice time with the food buffet. That was what he was told yesterday, at least. But whatever, huge effort. I think that social economy responded well. We had 1,400 people. In one of the first in-person events after the pandemic, present in there, and more than 2,000 people registered. Next time we will do better, but I think it's quite incredible, and it demonstrates the energy in the social economy community. So yeah, an amazing exercise, and that's it for this first question. We are overly satisfied. It was good. Now we need to keep the momentum to continue building, and indeed to use that energy, to use those connections to achieve our political objectives and to achieve what we all want, which is making the social economy grow, making existing enterprises grow, but also attracting new people to the social economy, attracting new talents to the social economy, attracting new entrepreneurs that should know that there is more than one way of doing businesses in the European Union and beyond Europe. There is a global model which is called social economy that put people first, and it's a good way of starting your adventure.
Well, Victor, you know very well this, that I was meant to be there with you all. I tested positive for COVID 48 hours before my flight. So I wasn't there. It's like I was devastated because I really want to join you there. But luckily, I have you that can give me some highlights about the conference. I asked Victor and Sara because you were involved at the political level, and I want to know the highlights or the sum up that you would make for me because I wasn't there, for example, and for the people that didn't follow up online, because we could do that, and that was amazing. So yeah, just give me some highlights, and if you can explain how was the whole event, how the event unfolded, and how did you feel the energy there?
I will briefly start, and then Sarah will complete the whole picture. First of all, we had our General Assembly in there, and we conquered something that we were looking. We achieved one strategic objective, which was having 20 members around the table of Social Economy Europe. So we admitted 2 new organizations, the Ukrainian Social Academy, so a Ukrainian social economy entity led by with a board member, Petro Darmonis, that was there in person with us in spite of the difficult circumstances. He was not the only Ukrainian in the room, by the way, in our General Assembly and in the conference. We also had Alina Pocharnikova from the Future Development NGO. Future Development Foundation, which is also involved in boosting the social economy. So we had two important Ukrainian players truly devoted to support a social economy ecosystem in that country, which is, as we all know, in an extremely difficult process and suffering an invasion and aggression by Russia. So that's the first highlight. We are 20 members. In Strasbourg, we celebrated that we have 20 people around the table. One of them, the Ukrainian Social Academy, and the other one, SHOVES, which is the Western Pomeranian Social Economy Support Center Network. So a Western region, a very Western region of Poland, with a strong social economy movement that now it's part of our family. That's the first highlight. And it's also a big deal for us, because it demonstrates once again that we are the only European network that represents the general interest of all social economy actors. This is what we are about. Everybody is welcome in Social Economy Europe. That's our process, being the common voice of a diversity of actors sharing values, a diversity of actors from all the geographies of Europe, from all the parts of Europe, but also representing the diversity of social economy actors, cooperatives, mutuals, associations, foundations, charities, social enterprises, and other legal forms. That's what we are. We are stronger together. That's our message, and we are gathering more and more people around the table. Highlight number one. Highlight number two, the key importance of Ukraine during the whole conference. The social economy demonstrated that we care about us, but we also care about what happens in Europe. We care about a war that is a humanitarian tragedy, but beyond being a humanitarian tragedy, it also, which is the first big deal, let's say, and a challenge in terms of reconstruction of a country that is being destroyed. Beyond that, it is also an event which is changing our lives all over Europe, from Vladivostok to Lisbon, as someone was saying, actually from Vladivostok to Washington and to Bogota and to the Democratic Republic of Congo. A war in a certain region is affecting our lives all over the world, is affecting supply chains, is generating a hunger crisis. So the social economy cares about that. And that's why the conference was opened by Petro Darmoris. So the mayor of Strasbourg gave the floor to Petro Darmoris, our new board member of the Ukrainian Social Academy, and to Alina Bocharnikova, and we had a very emotional moment with a standing ovation. Social economy cares about what happens in the world. Social economy wants to offer solutions to challenges across the world, which is complicated. We don't have all the answers, but we have the willingness. Social economy always have the willingness to provide societal responses to societal challenges. More highlights, and I'll try to shut up very briefly. Social Economy Action Plan. We had a roundtable with Commissioner Schmidt. Our president, Juan Antonio Pedreño, was in there, and I think that it was a nice moment to see what are the main objectives looking at the future, at the implementation of this action plan. We have it in the table. We're very happy about it. We have celebrated a lot, but now how do we implement it? We are waiting for a single EU gateway that needs to be co-constructed with social economy actors. This year, a Youth Entrepreneurship Policy Academy will be launched. We need to make sure that we are part of that, because who are going to be the trainers? Social economy leaders, existing social economy leaders, young, old, of all ages, from all over Europe, need to be the pioneers, the examples, the role models for new entrepreneurs. Beyond who teaches, it is also very important to who do we teach? How much people do we attract? We need to make sure that as many people as possible, again, from all over our European Union and beyond our European Union, can be there and get the tools to start up businesses in a different manner, in a social economy manner. So that's very relevant. We don't want to be put outside of that conversation. We don't want to be outside of that implementation, okay? So that's just one example. We also have the EU Social Economy Gateway. We also have the Council recommendation that will be proposed next year. So a common framework, a common European framework for the social economy, giving guidance to member states to modernize what the European Commission calls framework conditions. So modernize legal frameworks, modernize access to finance, modernize taxation, having a favorable policy and legal framework for the development of the social economy, recognizing that social economy exists. It can grow, it can bring to your economy, and to do that, you need to have a favorable framework, a specific framework. So there is a million things. The important thing is that we need to do it together and really together. We just don't want to be informed about what happens. We want to be part of about what happens. We have the will, we have the passion, we share the objective. As the disability movement says often, nothing for us without us. So that's very relevant. We need to be part of that implementation effort. And I have other things to tell, but I talked too much, as I said previously, so maybe Sarah can give some more elements, and then I will come back.
Yeah, so I can describe the second day of the conference that saw Social Economy Europe engage in the conference on the social economy and industrial policy on the path to more sustainable and inclusive growth. So here, the Pact for Skills was presented that Social Economy Europe made in collaboration with DG Grow and EFPA. And this pact saw the adhesion of many organizations across Europe, and it is aimed at fostering upskilling and reskilling. The closing plenary was another key moment as young people went on stage to highlight their wish and desires for the future. So young people stressed their willingness to find a purpose in their activities, as well as their engagement to build a better and fairer future for Europe and for all. In parallel to plenaries and conferences, the Strasbourg Conference foresaw a series of workshops that were gathered into 6 thematic areas. So these 6 thematic areas are youth, fundings, cooperation and innovation, territories, and public policies, transitions, and solutions for the future. Social Economy Europe co-organized 5 workshops, and it was a great opportunity to collaborate with social economy partners, strengthening bonds, exchanging experiences and best practices on how to develop the social economy and how to successfully implement the social economy action plan. So, among others, Social Economy Europe had the pleasure to co-moderate one of the workshops on the internationalization of the social economy that was particularly focused on best practices from all over the world. So it has been an enriching and inspiring to listen to social economy examples from Serbia, from Canada, from Ukraine, from North Africa, from Ivory Coast. So it is therefore evident that the scaling up of the social economy relies on mutual learning, whereby good practices are mainstreamed and possibly replicated across Europe and, of course, beyond Europe. And this process of internationalization of social economy has been reflected in the 110th International Labour Conference that we'll see and that we'll talk about social economy. And in this regard, the International Coalition for the Social and Solidarity Economy has published a position paper aiming at providing key inputs for this conference. Last but not least, the 2022 World Economic Forum has inserted in its agenda for the first time a panel on unlocking the social economy that saw Commissioner Margaritis Chinas, along with social entrepreneur Jero Billy Moria and Sharon Thorne of Deloitte, to take the floor and really talk about how to unlock the potential of social economy. And this enriches discussion was supported by the publication of a report titled Unlocking the Social Economy Towards an Inclusive and Resilient Society, with 5 main policy recommendations to governments. So we really see how the social economy is really scaling up and developing, not only in Europe, but also globally.
That's right, Sarah. Hopefully is growing and we will see how it scales up. And we are working towards it together. And I want to ask Arthur, because we had a stand, and I was meant to be there too. We had a stand alongside ESS France, and Arthur was there. So Arthur, I want to know, how was that experience having a Social Economy Europe stand, and how was the environment, the people, the feeling that you had been there and getting to chat with everyone that was involved in the conference? So tell us a bit about how was it?
Actually, it was a very nice experience. We had a very nice team, a great team working with SS France. It was a very nice team. we've met plenty of people from different backgrounds, and they asked plenty of questions about social economy, but also about social economy Europe. And they wanted to know information about membership and how to enter in contact with other social economy and enterprises. And it was very interesting to see plenty of different people, plenty of different kind of people, of policymakers and and all those key actors from the social economy in Europe.
So you were there explaining who we are, what we do,
Yeah,
and so the
yeah,
people was interested in the work we do. I assume because we were there with ESS France and being involved in the co-creation of this conference. So I assume people were willing to know who we were.
how to do how to how to become member, and we had the example from a Greek association who entered in contact with us and who wanted to become a member, but for instance,
That's amazing.
And I think that
Arthur.
Clara was also there, right? Clara was
Yes.
also in the stand for most of the time, together with Arthur
Yes.
and the colleagues from SS France, because indeed, as Arthur said, it was a team, a whole
Yeah.
team in there.
Yeah, indeed, I was part of this collaborative moment, and we managed to successfully share our stand with the colleague from ESS France. And as Arthur mentioned, it was an opportunity to meet new people and to raise awareness about the social economy, and in particular, social economy Europe. And yeah, people were asking questions about our task and also how to become member indeed. And so we had interesting exchanges of ideas, and ultimately we made contact with potential future members and actually motivated advocates of the social economy. But ultimately we were also participating in some workshops at the same time. So sometimes we weren't really present at the stand, and the colleagues from SS France had our back on that.
I have a question, if I may, Laura, sorry to step in, but
No
how
worries.
did, maybe for the three, but for Clara and Arthur particularly, and also to Sarah, how did you find that crazy moment? Have you been in similar congresses before? Yeah, in the case of Clara, we were sharing a workshop, and I think that Clara was making fun of me most of the time. So I don't know if we want to say something about that too. What are your personal takeaways? Let's say, what have you learned about this? That of course, and not everything needs to be positive. That's also very relevant, because I understand that there are things that we can and should do better in the future.
For me personally, it was my first big conference at this level, at least. And then the first thing you need, I'm taking out of it, is that you cannot be present at any place at any time, because most of the things are happening at the same time, actually. So you have to make choices, and I think we've managed it successfully once again, because we managed to split among the different workshops at the time and to be represented all over the conference. So this was good. And actually, I also realized that many actors are increasingly involved in the social economy. And I was impressed by the number of participants and actually the momentum social economy is gaining, because, for instance, before entering social economy in Europe, I didn't know much about it. And as you said, we participated in a workshop, for instance, on Ukraine, and concrete solutions were proposed. And so I hope they will implement it, and I'm looking forward for the implementation.
for me, it was also my first really huge congress, and it was a very nice experience. I was very impressed too by the size of the congress, and I really liked to speak to everybody. The atmosphere was very warm, and people were very nice. We've eat a lot of plenty good stuff, so it was very nice too. And but it was very tiring. It was exhausting days, very long days, but I really liked it actually. It was great days for me.
So an amazing experience that you will have with you as an intern of Social Economy Europe. Yes, as an
Sarah
experience
wants,
for a lifetime.
I think that Sarah wants also to reflect on that.
Yeah. I mean, it was my big conference too, and I arrived at Social Economy Europe in December. So, I mean, it was my big first big conference with the social economy actors, and actually, it was cool to see like all the people that are usually you see on screen. They're present, and you could exchange with them and talk with them. So it was very nice moment.
That was also, sorry, yeah, I shut up now, but that was also part of the magic of Strasbourg, because indeed it was the first very, very big conference after COVID. So after 2 years of working online for the first time, I mean, next time we don't want to be 1,000. We were 1,400. Next time we have to be 5,000, because of course there is much more people in the social economy community that was not there. But indeed we managed to see a lot of people, and all of our members were there and so on.
I was about to say, especially to Sara, that the coverage you did for social media those days was amazing. And it's not easy to make the coverage of an event like that and to be able to highlight while it's happening, to highlight the main points while it is taking place. So congratulations, because I was at home with fever and so on, and I was super calm because you were in charge of this. You were leading the communication. It was an amazing job. Congrats. Okay, let's move on because we have a lot to discuss. Victor, going back to you.
Okay, so I can say my last words. After that, that's it. My last words. Then we can hear from the other colleagues. So two things that I didn't say but were important. One is a transition pathways for social economy and proximity ecosystem. So like many people know, in 2021, after COVID hit it, so basically the European Union presented an industrial strategy in 2020. It was right before COVID. Then COVID came and changed it all. Okay, change supply chains. I mean, now we don't remember what COVID was. So many people remembers what COVID was, but we also tend to forget. COVID was all Europeans staying, and people all over the world, not only Europeans, staying in their homes, not going to work. Major disruption into our productive system, society, way of life, everything. So the industrial strategy was old very soon, because COVID changed it all. In 2021, they decided to renew the industrial strategy, and they identified 14 industrial ecosystems, which in the opinion of the European Union are key to recover and to strengthen resilience. Both things are important. One thing is recovering, and the other thing is having a more sustainable economy that is more robust in the case of a hit. When you are heated, you resist. And social economy was identified as one of these 14 industrial ecosystems. So as a part of that exercise, the 14 industrial ecosystems need to design a strategy to reply and to implement actions in view of the twin transitions. The world, this is extremely true. We always say it, and it seems like buzzwords, but it is not. The world is gonna to dramatically change. We have had COVID, which is not a war, but in many senses, the socio-economic impact was comparable or even higher than wars. People, again, were at home. People could not go to the street. The restriction on freedom, the restriction on economic activity was immense. So we had COVID. We also have a green transition. I mean, we also have climate change. And climate change is a major challenge for the world. So we need to change our economies. We need to change it all. And that's something that we all need to know. And we all need to be involved. Our cities are changing. The way we are moving is changing. People is used to get the car. Maybe in 20 years, we will not be used to get the car anymore. Or maybe yes. But all that is being decided now. And we also have the digital disruption and the digital transition, of course. An acceleration of technological evolution in the digital area. Everything is digital today. Nothing can be only offline. Things can be offline and online, but they cannot not be online. If you are not online, you don't exist. That's the rule today. So the 14 industrial ecosystems needs to adapt to that, need to have a strategy. What do we need? What do we need in terms of skills? What do we need in terms, because of course, everybody, that this is not an exercise that is going to be led by governments. This major transition, this major transformation that first of all requires money. That's the most important thing. because now certain people is saying that we have to stop investing. Many people in the European Union are saying we invest a lot after COVID with the Next Generation EU. Now we need to go back to austerity. That's untrue. If you have to change it all, you need tons of money, and the money is in there, right? If we want to modify our cities, if we want to modify our homes, if we want to modify our to make them, in the case of our homes, more isolated, more modern. So, I mean, if you want to change how we produce things, all that comes to investment. All that it comes to money to a certain point. We need to address, to channel lots of money to transform our economies, transform the way we do things, the way we live, the way we do things. And all that to confront a challenge, which is, a life or death challenge to a certain extent. Okay, so social economy needs a strategy. That's the transition pathways. We did the first workshop in Strasbourg, and now we are doing more workshops. We had the second 2 workshops this week, and we will have 2 more workshops by the end of June. One on the 24th of June on digital transition and the social economy, and one on the 27th of June on green transition and the social economy. And very similarly to the Skills Alliance, we need to engage. Again, what do we need? Do we need more alliances? Social economy has the solutions. Everybody likes them. Renewable energy cooperatives, car sharing platforms, work integration in the circular economy. There is no doubt. There is no doubt that we have the solutions. Digital platforms. There is no doubt that we are always pioneers. That's what the social economy always did: invent new things, create new things at the service of people. So there is no way that we have that capacity. There is no doubt that we have this capacity. But then, how do we scale it? We have a lot of attention right now by everybody, as Sarah was saying. Do we want to keep being 6.3% of employment in the future, or we want to grow and go beyond that? We want to conquer new spaces in the economy, bring new entrepreneurs, bring new workers. What do these new workers need in terms of skills? What do we all need in terms of skills to be prepared to a different future that is not an extension of the past, that it's different? We're going to produce things in a different manner. We're going to need to be more creative in many senses. What do entrepreneurs need in terms of skills? What do we need in terms of investments? What do we need in terms of interconnections, platforms? So a lot of what we need is the transition pathways, and a lot of what are we willing to do? What are we engaging to do? What do we need from institutions? It can be finance institutions, it can be public institutions, it can be infrastructure. And what do we need to do in terms of cooperation, alliances, collective intelligence to make it happen? So this is the question, and transition pathways, I think, was a very interesting workshop. And that's it from my side. And was launched in Strasbourg.
Mm-hmm. That's right, and our listeners and viewers can reach out through our website, because we have it uploaded there, and they can reach it and read it, and see how they can be part of it too. And also on our social media, we will talk about our workshops that we are being involved in this issue. So I'm so sorry that Guyana and Raffaele are here just listening, because they weren't at the conference, but they are new members of the Social Economy Europe team, and I'm for sure now that they are learning a lot those weeks that they are with us. So I just want to ask you, as a part of the team, how has been the experience, and listening now to the conference, what do you think about that event that happened just weeks before you came to the team? So Raffaele, you wanna start?
Hello, I can start. Hello, Laura. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah. For me, it's amazing. I'm very glad to be here, to be part of this this amazing team, and to can share everything with my colleagues. For me, social economy is just something. It was something unknown before. Like I had no idea when Victor introduced us the subject. I was kind of okay, what's that? But then, like, I started to like so much the topic, the project, and yes, like working about this right now, it's something really cool, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So yeah, that's it.
Hello,
You're muted,
everybody.
Laura. But,
I'm muted. Okay, Rafael, thank you so much for your words, and you know that we are here to learn together, because social economy was new for me too, more than 1 year ago. So we are all learning and growing together, and above all, knowing that there is another way to do things, and our companies have another way to work in a more sustainable and equal way. So, Gayan, hi.
Yes, thanks. Hi, Laura. Hi, dear colleagues. I want to add that it's a great privilege for me to be here with you. As Laura said, I'm Gana Simonian. I'm a master's student in the European Union Studies and Human Rights at UCAM University in Murcia, in Spain. I'm honored to have this great opportunity to join the Social Economy Europe family as an intern. So before that, I had an experience of working in development programs, more than 10 years in international and non-governmental organizations as a project coordinator. And my main responsibility is to support vulnerable families and children to overcome the cycle of their poverty. Meanwhile, I was passionate about human rights, particularly topic related to women empowerment and gender equality. And all that my keen interest encouraged me to apply to the internship of Social Economy Europe and broaden my knowledge and acquire really new skills to the social economy sector of European Union, which is really new for me. What about the conference? By that time, I have already been admitted as an intern, and I was following all relevant websites, newsletter, everything else. And I was really impressed with the huge level and volume of the work you have been done. Because as I know, besides the plenary sessions, there are a lot of workshops which you co-created with you and with other organizations, and it was great work. I want to congratulate you all with that because you probably make the things happen. I also very proud, and accordingly, I do believe that my experience, motivation, and commitment will have its modest influence on achieving the social economy European strategic targets in a particular time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gayan. I hope you have a great time being part of the team of Social Economy Europe. And as I said, we are all learning, and for sure we learn from you too. So you know that we learn together and we grow together, and this is going to be a great time as a team.
Nothing can be achieved having hands, having people that has different ideas, that brings the energy, the intelligence that you all have. It's fundamental to achieve our objectives. We could not be doing the work we do without these amazing people around the table. So Social Economy Europe owes you a big deal of recognition and acknowledgement.
Thank you so much, Victor. And we have still half a year ahead of us. So what's next for the social economy in general terms?
So very briefly from my side, we're going to publish also in reply to what Clara said, we're going to publish so two key urgencies. There are many plans, but two key plans in the very near future for the next 2 months will be so first of all, publishing a policy paper on SEAP implementation. We were the main driving force before SEAP. I think that we can say with humility, but also with satisfaction, that SEAP was the dream of many people. But first of all, it was the dream of Social Economy Europe as an organization. So now our dream is to see, as Gayan said, some targets, as Gayan said, some ways of implementing, as we all said. So for that, our first objective is to publish a policy paper, ideally before the summer, on SEAP implementation, co-built with our members, as always, and maybe with some external partners. As Clara said, we are also currently working in a policy paper on unlocking social economy potential for the sustainable development of Ukraine, for the reconstruction and sustainable development. That's something that we are doing with our Ukrainian partners, who are being the leaders, of course, in this process, and with the support of various SE members also that can provide capacity building ideas and so on. And then something very important that Clara and Sarah led, and that we put it on hold because of the General Assembly, is a book on the European Social Economy Awards, with more than 100 applications, which are 100 solutions, 100 social economy inspiring solutions on social innovation, green transition, and digital transition and skills. So that's something that needs to become, they put a lot of work on it. It's almost done. It needs to become a reality soon.
In this episode, we have seen how the Social Economy Conference in Strasbourg was a huge success. We have had the pleasure to hear from Sandra Guillmin, one of the main organizers of this event, who highlighted some figures. 1,400 people present on site, 64 countries represented, and a general satisfaction from all people that took part in this conference. We have listened to the director of Social Economy Europe and Social Economy Europe team, who talked about how the whole conference unfolded, the main highlights and the main takeaways from this event. The Strasbourg Conference was a great opportunity for Social Economy Europe to connect with members, partners, and key policymakers to collect ideas and experiences on the development of the social economy and its scale-up. This being also among the priorities for Social Economy Europe for this 2022. Thank you for listening to this special edition of Social Economy Talks.